Hey, friends! I'm not sure if this video has started yet, man. We're gonna just wait here a quick moment. How's everybody doing out there? Just so you know, this is my first time trying to do this kind of thing in a very, very long time. I think I might have went live back when I was working at Whole Foods here in Eugene, and that was maybe about I don't know, 5 years ago. Hold on, I think something's burning. Hold on, real quick. All right. Yeah, well, nothing out of the usual. The biscuits were burning. Um, Man, I tell you what, it is good to just try to do this kind of thing and to use modern technology as it's like we have a stage anytime we want it. So if we really, really, really need to express ourselves, technology, man, we can get on these forums and hopefully it's working. If I see anybody, let me know if you. I don't know if anyone's watching. I don't see. I'm looking at insights right now and I'm seeing zero. So that's great actually, because I need to get warmed up and see what's happening. And yeah, I don't see any comments or views. So look, if nobody watches this, that would be amazing. I got to tell you guys a little story real quick before I get going with the music. What story am I going to tell you guys? Well, happy 420 from the West Coast. Let me just say that, man. So, hope you're all doing well. People are still just kind of finishing their workday here. I was originally going to do this as a virtual, or not a virtual. I'm sorry. This is virtual. I was going to do this as like a real live, like rent party. I was going to have like I don't know, up to 12 people, people I know, and just come over, and I was going to maybe flip this going the other way, and I was going to do some looping and like an acoustic set, and just wanted to hang out, and also I wanted to raise a little bit of money for rent. Anyhow, the music is the most important thing, man. We're not attached to the income as much as we're attached to the outcome. Hey, Gordo, did you see what I did there? All right. So I got my old antique fiddle here. It's about a Oh, geez, I don't know. I'm getting old now. So this is about 110, 112-year-old fiddle or so. Made in Germany. It's a beautiful fiddle, man. It's the only violin I've ever had. And yeah, man. I used to say, and I've been reminded of it recently. Back in the day, I would say that I don't actually choose where I'm going. I let the fiddle choose the way, and then I end up having a pretty good adventure. So I tell you what, I'm kind of getting back to that today. And so I'll tell you the little story about today, right? Today. I knew I was going to do this thing, right? And I had a little bit of business I had to take care of early in the morning, so I took care of that business. And then I came back here, basically right to where I'm sitting, at about 10:20-ish, about 6 hours ago, Western time. And I haven't had these loopers. I usually have two RC 505s because I like to get experimental with, I don't know, I guess I just like 10 part, 20 part acapella music, what have you. But right now I just got the one. I got kind of a simplified setup because as I got going and I wanted to do a High Lonesome Looping set tonight, that isn't really going to happen. So that was false advertising. I apologize about that. The High Lonesome Looping would entail kind of a one-man jam grass approach where I actually play not only the fiddle, but also the mandolin. I got Caroline up in the case up there. She was going to go on stage today or in the virtual forum here, but we're going to leave her in the cage. Cage. Oh my gosh. Not the cage, the case. So Caroline, sorry you're cased up tonight, but she's been getting, yeah, I've been playing a lot of mandolin, and I've been getting back to busking, and Caroline has been my best friend. Thanks to Mark Elliott Shimmick for Caroline. He passed that mandolin down to me, I believe. I'm not sure where they are tonight. I know they were in Chicago. They're on tour. The Songs from the Road Band. Yeah, go see those guys if you get a chance. Some of you definitely know who I'm talking about. So back to my little story here. I did a recent update of my operating system on my computer, and I thought everything was groovy. I kind of had checked in on some things, but I didn't realize I couldn't do an aggregate advice. Did I say that? Device aggregate, not advice, device aggregate. Happy 420. Aggregate device. That's right. And it took me. Oh my God. Well, I thought I had it solved in about 13 minutes. I was patting myself on the back, and I didn't quite have it solved. It took about 45 minutes, and I had that little issue solved. Boom, all my VSTs and whatnot, instruments that here. Push this thing out of the way. But so I make beats using this and using the Roland HBD 20. So I'm gonna sort of give an intro of what I'm trying to do here. If I save this recording and anybody watches this, I don't think anyone's watching, but this is cool anyhow because I kind of gotta get this story off my chest anyhow. And who knows, maybe you'll tune in later and I'll put up a repeat and you'll be able to watch it, a rerun as they say. So yeah, man. So a few years ago, I got into looping, kind of during the pandemic when there was no opportunities to jam with anybody. Um, I got a Line 6 DL4 like Reggie Watts, and I started doing weird a cappella music. I quickly realized as intuitive and fun as that DL4 is, it had its limitations, and I got one of these badass RC 505s then. Yeah, and I love the RC 505, so I got a second one, and I hooked them up together, and kind of, as far as my solo approach to music, got the most creative and experimental that I've ever been in approaching solo live music production. And I really like it. And I wanted to add a beat element for my live show, so I did get a Roland HBD 20. And this thing is sweet. I love it, man. So yeah, I use it primarily for looping beats and making beats for instance, kind of primarily, I have a project that I call Fiddletronica, and that's what I'm gonna dive into that a little bit tonight. We're just gonna, think of this as just us hanging out and having a nice West Coast 420, and I'm just kind of showing you what I'm working on and talking about it. So there's gonna be some surprises. Actually, everything is gonna be a surprise. I realized as I went through the day during my 6 hour, I thought I was gonna have a lunch. I skipped lunch. Okay. So I did a 6 hour technical. It was, anyone do theater and have like a tech rehearsal? Those are the ones that are like, what do they call it? Kind of like right before the dress rehearsals. They'll do a tech rehearsal. And that tech rehearsal can be an absolute nightmare sometimes because there's so many moving parts, right? So today I had that experience, man. I had problems with what the operating system kind of did in conjunction with Logic Pro and trying to figure out, okay, I got to build these aggregate devices again. And I figured all that out, and then I tested it on my own video software here, and it worked, but it took hours. And then I thought I had it licked, man. I thought I had figured it out, but then I tried to do a test on Facebook, and lo and behold, man, the aggregate device did not work. So I was like, okay, let's cut my losses right now. We're just gonna do one RC505. So I start plugging everything in. I start taking some deep breaths, and I go, all right. So let's get the instruments out and start plugging everything in. Oh, Lordy have mercy. I do not know. I got a guitar hanging up there on the wall. There it is. And it's opposite to me. It's actually over there, but in the picture, it's over there. At any rate, yeah, I don't know what's going on with the guitar. Yeah, I could not quite make it all sound as smooth and buttery and rich as I like it to sound, so I kind of gave up on the guitar pretty quick and shifted gears when I realized that this might take a little bit of doing. So all these little unexpected curveballs, right? Of course. I get the mandolin out, I get Caroline out, and kind of similar issues where I've been playing the heck out of her acoustically and haven't really only plugged in a couple times, and so there were some unknown variables there that I'm gonna need a little bit more time to figure things out as far as going live and plugging up with both the old guitar and the beautiful mandolin made by Ken Ratcliffe that Mark Shimmick passed down to me. Her name is Caroline, and hey Caroline. So at any rate, I got my old trusty fiddle though. And just as I was about to give up, I was thinking, man, I'm just gonna tell everybody, hey man, tomorrow at 4:20. All right, how about that? Or I was gonna push it back a couple hours and try to figure things out. But I was like, you know what, man, the show must go on. Let me figure this out. So I kind of dipped into the RC 505 a little bit, and again, this is an open rehearsal hangout session. Nothing fancy about my presentation or performance today. I actually just want to be as real as I possibly can. But yeah, so I went through a couple tunes, and I tell you what. So I've been kind of making these beats over the last few years, just kind of here and there, mostly over the last couple years, and I am kind of stoked on some of the old beats I've made as far as they're bringing up musical memories to me. So if you check out, like I have a big YouTube channel. I do try to put things here on Facebook and stuff, but I do put out videos, and I'm not afraid to kind of try something out as an experiment and kind of just throw it against the wall and see if it sticks or if people dig it or whatever. I know I have fun as far out as some of these musical ideas. I got Fiddle Dave's acapella party. That's one of them. I'm an acapella guy, and I got Fiddletronica, and I got some of the High Lonesome Looping and these different projects that are, by nature, pretty experimental, which you can do when you're by yourself and when there's zero people watching, and it's a beautiful thing. I enjoy entertaining myself. I enjoy music, and I enjoy this whole process. So as I dipped into the RC 505, though, I was discovering these beats that I recognized, and they were conjuring up melodies that I was remembering. I guess I improvised them originally, and now, as maybe after doing a little video and listening back to them a couple times, perhaps, I'm starting to learn my own musical ideas kind of by ear, and playing a little cosmic racquetball with myself, and just trying to hit the ball off the wall a little bit and see what happens. That's the second off the wall, thing I said. So we'll just leave it there. So yeah, we are gonna go without a net and off the wall today, and I'm gonna explore some of what's in my RC 505, and one of a couple things are gonna happen because I'm only really set up to play this beautiful fiddle, and I'm a little rusty. I had an injury last year and been playing a lot of mandolin, but the flexibility is still coming back to me in my left wrist. So forgive me if it takes a second to warm up, but I'm gonna do my best to get the musical mojo going. At least I'm going to try to, scrub my third eye a little bit and try to see what's happening. And, there's percussion option here, but we've kind of already put a bunch of beats into the RC 505. And the neat thing about it is you can play with them, right? For those of you that don't know, I got some friends that are interested in looping. Hey, Laura, other people, Laura Slade, what's up? And other people that are interested in looping. I do some music coaching and stuff. But yeah, I do want to talk about this machine. It's really cool. There's 5 loopers basically, and you can fade them in and out. And so it's real fun to not only do live music production and cook from scratch, so to speak. That's what I prefer to do. But what I find is that you end up coming up with days where you're inspired to do some percussion, days when you're inspired to sing some a cappella and do some weird vocal arrangements, And so what I like to do is I kind of like to experiment and just be as free as I can, and then I capture those ideas, and I realize that as much as I'd like to just be able to pull those ideas out from, nowhere, here's the thing. Sometimes you're inspired, and other times maybe not so much. And so the nice thing about the RC 505 is it saves a lot of ideas. Hey, what's up, Snake? It's really good to see you, man. I mean, you can see me. I can see you. I know what you look like, man. Thanks for tuning in, man. Right on. So we got one viewer now, Snake. I can count on Snake. I always knew I could, man. He's one of my friends from Asheville, North Carolina. We got a band called Sons of Ralph that we have in common, good friends of ours. And of course, Ralph Lewis was the guitarist for Bill Monroe, and his sons Marty and Donnie are just incredible guys, and some of my favorite people back in Nashville. They were very good to me, and they helped me out with my band, Short Term Memory String Band. And yeah, we met playing in a honky tonk band. That's actually how I met Woody Wood, so shout out to not only Donnie and Marty Lewis, but also to Woody Wood and Honky Tonk Jim Hampton, who was the lead singer and honky tonk guy. We were all hayseeds, that's what he called his band. So at any rate, man, eventually, you know, it's 420 here on the West Coast, and I'm kind of more just about telling stories. And if you're just, since you're just tuning in, Snake, basically, rather than a High Lonesome Looping bluegrass thing, I'm going to do some experimental stuff, and I'm going to see what's in this RC 505. And I was just telling the story about my technical difficulties throughout the day. So this is what we're ending up with here, is a little Fiddletronica, and basically, and just kind of letting y'all in on what my process is and what I've been working on. And I've been making some beats lately, and it's a little something different. So, you know, I hope I enjoy it, man. I don't know what's happening. I'm basically going to just dig into this thing. I'm probably just talking now a bunch to actually avoid getting my hands dirty here. But anyhow, happy 420 from the West Coast. Thanks for tuning in, and let's see if we can make just a little bit of music here. And again, it's going to be maybe a bunch of Fiddletronica and a little bit of Fiddle Dave's acapella party too, if we find the right cut. And forgive me, I'm going to be sifting around this machine here and seeing what I've been working on over the last couple few years, and sort of just playing around with some ideas and debuting kind of a new sound, man. Right? Let's see what I got here with this fiddle. Ooh, that's nice and loud. All right. Let's back that back just a little bit. Maybe we should play something more up the middle just to get it going before we get too crazy, man. What do you think, Stick? I think that's a good idea, man. I better play like just like a fiddle tune or something just to get it warmed up, right? Now tell me, man, Snake, if you're out there, can you hear that? Man, can you hear the fiddle? Can you hear the music? Does it sound all right? Sounds all right to me, man. Back this back just a little bit more. That's the heat. All right, fiddle's kind of working. How y'all doing out there? We got a couple people out there. We got Snake saying it sounds good, and that's all that counts right there. All right, we're gonna get a little more experimental here, man. We're gonna visit some beats. I don't even know. I got about 99 projects up in this sucker. We're gonna see what's happening, and I'm just gonna try to stay musical with it, and maybe tell y'all a few more stories along the way. Probably mostly just chit chat. Man, how's Asheville, North Carolina treating you, Snake? Who else is out there? Anybody else? I think we might have had another person there for a second. We lost him already. It's a nice thing about cyberspace. You could just kind of come and go, you know. Man, so let's see what we got in this bad boy right now. So we're going to go all the way back to... Yeah, man. So, I was saying... I'm making these beats. Right on.
That's all there is to that.
Man. Right on. Sending that one out to Blue Ridge Mountains. All right, man. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Just trying some beats on for size. Hey mom, far out. Haven't seen you in forever. Love you. These are some beats that I've recorded and looped over the years, or just the last couple of years. So we're just having some fun tonight. Thanks for joining. Hey, right on. Good to see some more people tuning in. Thank you. So we're just hanging, man. Having ourselves a little Fiddletronica session. I told everyone earlier about how I had about a 6-hour tech rehearsal today. And I went from a High Lonesome Looping show to a casual storytelling session and a little bit of Fiddletronica. I'm having fun, man. I appreciate you tuning in. Can't believe my mom is tuned in. Oh, that's cool. All the way from Hawaii. I think she's still here. Yeah, thanks, Mom, for the violin lessons. I appreciate it. I had some great teachers growing up when Judy Palick and Oshkosh was my first teacher. And I was taught by a Suzuki guru named Everett Goodwin. Oh, man, he taught me about music and how to play, how to perform. And I moved to Illinois. I became part of the Aurora Suzuki Violin, so big shout out to Stan Smith, Sarah Smith, and a host of amazing music educators along the way, and Peter People. Thank you so much, y'all. I appreciate you showing me the ropes a little bit. Maybe we did that one, right? Thanks for listening, man. That was cool. Let's see what else is in this little RC505, man. I'm having fun here. We're broadcasting here, or webcasting, from Eugene, Oregon, man. We got the Owen Rose Garden out there, and actually, am I pointing the right way? I'm pointing the right way. It looks like I'm seeing a mirror image of myself, so it looks like, oh yeah, I am. I'm pointing at the guitar. I'm pointing outside. Whew, I'm getting a little disoriented sometimes. Yeah, so happy 420 from the West Coast, man. This is great. I'm having a good time. I'm going to be just hanging out. It sounds like I need a sip of water, man. It sounds like the frogs from outside are getting into my throat a little bit. And if I do a little Fiddle Dave's a cappella party, who knows, again, what's in this RC505. Nobody was really here when I explained it. I kind of told a long story about my long tech rehearsal and the little challenges I had along the way, and then how this became a little Fiddletronica session. But I was talking about basically how as I wanted to bring back this Fiddletronica thing, which I originally co-founded with Daniel Durrett in San Francisco at the end of 2009. So big shout out to him. He's amazing. But he used Ableton to loop my violin, and he did all the looping. I just played, and he looped and produced and did the beats, and occasionally he would rip some electric guitar as well. And just a really, really bright, positive, groovy dude. Lived on Haight Street, man, or right off of Haight Street. And so we had a good time, and we did some live radio shows, and it was kind of a short-lived project, but it was just beautiful. The music kind of stood the test of time as I listened back to the recordings and stuff. So I wanted to bring that idea back of the looped fiddle with the beats and all that kind of thing. So I figured the best way to make that happen would be maybe to produce beats live, and still learning how to do that, fluently. And so I was basically saying earlier, some days I'm inspired to really lay down beats, and I play a Roland HBD 20 here, Roland Hand Sonic. It's a digital hand drum. And so that helps me loop beats on the RC505. I also use a MIDI controller here. It's got 16 pads over here too, the Akai and PK261 and I. So I use these and occasionally some arpeggiators and stuff, VSTs from Logic Pro to make beats. And shout out to Josh Blake, actually. I know I'm doing a lot of shout outs today, but that's what Facebook's all about, man, is friendships. And that's why I wanted to come here and kind of hang out with y'all, because I think, man, we're overdue for a good hangout, right? But my friend Josh Blake, I was honored to be a part of his band, the Big Money Band, Go Black and Gold. We had band colors. That's how serious we were. But anyhow, I watched during the pandemic, I think it was, we were kind of shut down, and so tuning into different live streams and people's creative processes. I don't know if I said that word right, but at any rate, I saw Josh did a beautiful video that he shared very generously on, I guess it was Facebook or whatever. I think he did it like a live or something. I don't quite remember all the details, but essentially he had just released an album and he had made a bunch of beats and he had a bunch of different people, guesting on the album throughout the album. But he went through his process of making beats and I was fascinated by it, man. And I'm pretty sure I gave him a shout out and said, thank you, that's awesome, inspiring. But I mean, I kind of took the ball and ran with it, man. And then with the help of a looper, you can sort of, you don't have to be a brilliant percussionist to make a beat, you just sort of, can kind of hammer one out and loop it and hopefully play over it and have fun. That's the main thing, right? Yeah. Whether it sounds good or not, that's subjective, so who cares, right? But let's see what else is in this thing. Enough shout-outs, enough of me talking. Yeah, mahalo to Dave's mom. That's super cool. I hope my mom is still out there in the viewing audience, but that's nice, man. So here we go. Let's see what else is in this beautiful looping machine of mine. I like to save these projects, like I mentioned, so not every day is an a cappella party day, and not every day is a Fiddletronica making beats day. And apparently, I tried to do a High Lonesome Looping show today, and was not a High Lonesome Looping day today, so here we are. Right. I'm just chatting away here. I need a little sip of something. I like these yerba mate. Cheers, people. I love you. All right. Let's see what we can do here. See what's next, man. Again, being that this was kind of an audible at the last second as far as an artistic approach, I said, let's just be, originally, too, this whole virtual thing is an audible, man. Originally, I was going to just have a house party here, and I kind of just put out the invite a little bit too late, so I didn't quite have enough confirmations. And I didn't want to put too much social pressure on any one person. Shout out to Joe Rodini. Joe is like, I remember doing a Jugman show back at the little bar that used to be Tiny Tavern, and over here in the Whitaker Arts District here, and it was called something different for a while. And we started a little project called the Hazy Moonlight Band, and then we had a little jug band too, the Gen X Jug Band Champions, and we did a show across the street at Sam Bond's, but then we did a little warm-up show across the street at Tiny Tavern, with the place formerly known as Tiny Tavern. For some reason, happy 420 from the West Coast. I can't remember the name of what it was called when we actually played there. But my friend Jeff Taylor, shout out to Jeff Taylor, once a jug band champion, always a jug band champion, going all the way back to Sloppy Joe like 23 years ago. Or more. Jeffro was down here for that show, and it was a really cool show. We did a warm-up show, before going across the street, and the warm-up show was much better. But I think Joe Rodini was the only one really sitting in the audience, maybe, anyhow, so thanks to Joe. So this turned from like what would have been a party, maybe, some 420s happening and just casual conversation and me being silly and trying to play some music too. It turned into this virtual thing, and so I'm having just as much fun. I appreciate you guys being here with me. Okay, man. Let's see what else we got in this sucker. I really don't know. Nothing's labeled, really. Or if it's labeled, it's not labeled correctly here. Let's see what else, man, we got here. All right. I can just kind of fade it out if it's too strange. We'll get back to some Fiddletronica here. Right on. Just like that, we can kind of move on if we don't dig it right. Which is kind of fun too. And keep on searching, man. Let's change the tempo if we want to, And we can just move on. Until we find something we like here. These are all beats I've been working on. make myself laugh sometimes. Someone's got to. Yeah, man. This is turning into like a Twitch stream where you just show your whole process. Right? We'll move on too from that. Let's see what's next here. In the machine of delight. Been a while since I've visited some of these beats too, so again, your guess is as good as mine. What's on here? Right on. There's something we can maybe hang our melodic hat on. Hey Ricky! It's good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. I've done a bunch of storytelling, Ricky, but you could imagine the storytelling. And here we are just doing a little Fiddletronica music off the cuff. Appreciate you tuning in. To the virtual house party / rent party. How about it? I'm having fun, man. How we feeling? How we feeling? Right on, man. Oh, man. Y'all still with me? Y'all still with me? Man, I'm having a good time. Man, I'm having a little bit too good of a time, actually. Tighten this thing up. Tighten up, good people. Anyhow, I'm just getting started here. We're a little ways in. Been telling some stories. I've been having more fun fiddling than I have in a long time. I love the Fiddletronica format, man. I'm still, just kind of under the hood tinkering, but it's fun. Thanks for hanging out with me and listening, and it's nice to share my, creative process with y'all. The prize is in the process, so like like a Cracker Jack box or whatever. Let's see what else we got. Take a sip of water, man. How's everybody doing out there? I'm down to one of you. But it's cool, man. I'm having a great time. I actually told a whole bunch of stories to nobody at the beginning of the session. That was fun, man, you know, because, yeah. I tell stories to myself a lot, actually. Hold on one sec. I'm getting tangled up in chords over here. There we go. All right, man. Well, happy Fiddlin' Friday from the West Coast here, man. It's a good thing to just be alive, and modern technology for the win, you know, to be able to connect with people far away in North Carolina, over there, I think in the coastal mountains, and then in Hawaii, and it's cool, right, to just be able to say hello and actually play some music. So, you know, cool, man. Facebook family, thanks, guys. Yeah. And you've probably been tuned in since you're just the one person, but if there's more than the one person out there and you're just tuning in, super cool. I'm basically just talking about how I've been learning to make beats, and what I intended to be a house party and a rent party, actually, turned into just a virtual hangout here, or, you know, and I was going to do a High Lonesome Looping set, and then a tech rehearsal. About 6 hours today basically led me in this unexpected direction, and I haven't been looping lately, and I haven't explored any of these beats, but I have explored them over the past couple years as I've been making them. And so I'm having some little musical flashbacks, and I'm having a good time. So thank you for being here and listening. And yeah, right on. Let's see what else we got in here. That was fun. Music school, right? Right on. Hey, let's see what else we got here. We're gonna go way, we're just gonna spin the freaking dial, man. See what happens. Oh, what's this? Is it time for Fiddle Dave's a cappella party? Do I get a break from playing the fiddle? That's cool, right? What is this, like a, interesting, huh? The things we do. Apparently I sit around and do vocal percussion. That's kind of cool, huh? That's fun. It kind of sounds like a YEM fish can, but you know, it's a little out there. I'm going to be moving on here pretty quick, I could tell you that. Again, man, you know, your guess is as good as mine, man. I don't know what's popping out here tonight, but I'm having fun. We'll just speed the tempo up here, and we're going to be moving on pretty quick. Right? Let's see what else we got, man. Right on. Oh, I think it's Fiddle Dave's a cappella party right now. What do you think, guys? Put this fiddle now. Right, man. Fiddlin' Friday, but we got to get a little a cappella party in there sometimes. You know what I mean? I think. That's right. Oh. Ooh, how we feeling on a Friday night, guys? Good. Yeah. That's right, Mom. You can't trust the eye count. It's all about the third eye anyhow. So, luckily here in Eugene, we have unfluoridated water here. Thank you, Eugene. Scrubbing that third eye. I'm glad you're here, Mom. Thank you. My mom's here from all the way from Hawaii. Ooh, my mom is here. Love you, Mom. She's here all the way from Hawaii. Yeah, I like what Firefly and Callie said. Mahalo to my mom, yeah. Miss you. Did I ever tell you about when I was an acapella guy, man? For some of you guys that are just my friends that didn't know me back in the day, I moved to Inglewood, Colorado my freshman year of high school. And I joined an acapella group called the Chromiums. Big shout out to Steve Robinson, Ken Weber. Big shout out to Rhonda Fossum, who taught us all how to sing. Thank you, Rhonda. Mrs. Fossum. And then from that group, the Chromiums, there were other guys in that group, and we broke off and we started a little group called the Silk Threads. The Silk Threads, that's right. Both groups wore matching suits, doo-wop a cappella style. So big shout out to Dan Perkins, big shout out to Randy Skaczynski, big shout out to Ray Paris. Big shout out to Derek Pope. We had this quintet called the Silk Threads, and it was octet, or it was the Chromiums. Man, there was a place called Acapella's Bar and Grill in Denver, Colorado. It was on 17th Avenue in Humboldt. Yeah, man, 17th Avenue in Humboldt. And they let us teenagers in. I was only like 14, man. Needless to say, we were adopted by these older a cappella groups. Huge thanks to the 17th Avenue All-Stars, man. They inspired us so much. Of course, those guys were inspired by the Great Persuasion, so if you want that doo-wop a cappella, I'm just having fun here with the looper, but listen to the Persuasion. Jerry Lawson, big shout out. All right, what else we got here? I think this is a Trey Anastasio inspired whistle here, actually. Yeah, man. Right on. man. So we sang that beautiful doo-wop a cappella music, man. And I'd sing the first tenor parts. I was just a kid. I was a baby, man. And I love that a cappella so much. And when I moved back to Chicago, I started a group called Johnny on the Spot. So big shout out to Omar, David Brancato, Scott A. Liebenow, and our Scott Lindenberger, Dave Van Conen, and Eric Garay were all our different bass singers. And we had a good time. We got to be the barbershop quartet for the music band. That was cool. Summer of '92. So yeah, man. Thanks for listening, man. Friday night, man. How y'all doing, man? How y'all feeling, man? Good. Thanks for hanging out with me, man. I really appreciate y'all. I'm Fiddle Dave, man. This has been my acapella party right here, so let's see what's next, man. Right on, man. How's everybody feeling out there on a Friday evening, man? I appreciate the good feedback, man. Thank you for commenting. Feel free, comment away. I'm really just want to hang out and talk with y'all. So, thank you for listening. Right on. Yeah, it's a lot of reverb. All right. Let's see what else we got in here, man. Cheers, everybody. Happy Friday night. Peach Revival. We're going to have a revival. All right. So obviously this is not High Lonesome Looping. This is actually a kind of a combination of me just hanging out and telling stories, chit-chatting, and sharing my creative process and what I've been up to lately, as I've been kind of more or less laying low over the last few years. Yeah, I've been making beats for Fiddletronica, a project I originally started with Daniel Durrett in San Francisco in 2009, but I've been learning to produce my own beats and hopefully get fluent enough where I can feel more confident about doing the live thing. But today, after a long tech rehearsal, here I am doing the Fiddletronica thing and the acapella party thing, and we're having just like an open hangout. Originally this was going to be a rent party / house concert. I was going to have about 10, 12 people over. Kind of put out the notice a little too late, didn't quite get enough confirmation, so I decided to do it virtually and thought I was going to do High Lonesome Looping, but after a myriad of tech challenges, I found myself with fiddle in hand and all of these the beats and the RC505 along with some of these acapella projects and stuff. And what I was kind of explaining earlier is some days for me are mandolin days, some days are fiddle days, some days are guitar days and singing days. And it's not every day where I have an acapella party, you know what I mean? They're kind of special occasions. And same with the beat making and the whole thing. Although as I'm trying to be able to call up these ideas in real time a little more fluently here as we keep moving on. But hey, Act 1, Scene 1, I don't think I've tried to go live since 2019 when I was working at Whole Foods. I sat over there in the little breakfast nook and played acoustic. I had such a good time. I probably played for over an hour, and I think I might have done it a couple times. I was like, man, this is the new jazz, man. You just press one button. You can reach out to all your friends and tell stories and play music. This is so fun. But I've never done it plugged up like this, and so it obviously presented its own unique set of challenges, man. But yeah, so thanks for hanging out with me, man. As I said earlier, the prize is in the process. So thanks for allowing me to share my process with you. Yeah, man. Let's see what else we got here. I also I do work with two of these sometimes. And I was explaining earlier that essentially you got to come up with you got to make these two, this device, the RC505 and the other RC505, to kind of make them work. As far as my understanding, I have to create an aggregate device, and I did an update on my operating system, and when I went to, activate my aggregate device, it wasn't there, so I had to recreate it. And then when I went to test it on some video software here at home, everything was good. It took me a while to figure it out, right? But then when I tried to do a test on Facebook, it was only responding to this RC505. So the good news about that is there's a lot of ideas that all these ideas are still just being experimented with, and really, again, I like to cook from scratch, but sometimes, man, it's good to have a little hamburger helper, if you know what I mean. So let's see what kind of sonic hamburger helper we have here in the machine. The acapella. So maybe the acapella party continues, or we will do some Fiddletronica, is my guess. Thanks for hanging. Speed this up a little bit. The nice thing is we can kind of just move on. Again, I'm just spinning the dial here randomly. Got here. Bear with me. See what else we got in there. Yeah, it sounds like a mandolin, doesn't it? I like this grab bag style of having fun playing music, man. It's cool to revisit ideas and see where they take you. Yeah. Awfully fun hanging out with you guys today. How's everybody doing? Pretty good? All right, man. I'm doing good, too. Happy Fiddlin' Friday, man. Welcome to the Fiddletronica get down here. I do appreciate it. I got a tip jar. If you see the tip jar, feel free. But again, as an artist, as a musician, we are not attached to the income. We are simply attached to the outcome. So, see what I did there, Gordo? That's twice, and with one webcast. Yeah, I saw that recently. My friend, one of my great mentors and music teachers and dear friends and human beings in this lifetime, Gordon Crosby. So Gordon Crosby, hey man, thanks for teaching me about music and singing and being a good person. I appreciate it. What else we got on this thing, man? Let's see what else we got. Right on. Yeah, right on. Now see, sometimes you get the acapella party. I think it was reversed. You know, maybe the other RC5 was in front of it. You go, man, I don't think that's right in tune or right in the beat, man. So we're gonna get out of this zone real quick. Ooh, this is a weird zone. What's going on? It's Friday. It was 4:20. It's now 11:04. It's what time is it? Oh, Lord have mercy. Man, I got just about 15 minutes left, man. So we better have some fun while we can, huh? Check it out, man. What do we got on? Acapella party. Acapella party, man. It's Friday. Right on, man. Let's see what else we got here, man. That's almost acapella. Yeah, that's right. All right, man. What else we got here? Let's see what else we got. just giving you a behind the scenes, kind of it's basically like I'm just sort of opening up the hood here, you know, of what I do. Just wanted to share it with y'all a little bit, you know. Working on music, man. What can I say? Thanks so much for listening, y'all, man. I had a fun time. Had a blast. Again, thank you guys for listening and coming to Fiddle Days virtual Fiddlin Friday house concert / rent party. I appreciate you listening, man. Again, I'm not attached to the income. I'm just attached to the outcome. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being awesome. I hope you have a great weekend. I want to do this more often, so this is a good little baptism by fire, I think, you know? Not High Lonesome Looping, but this has been Fiddletronica, Fiddle Dave's acapella party, and really just popping open the hood and letting you know what I'm kind of working on these days, man. All right, man. Really appreciate you guys. Thanks for your support. Let's see what else is under the hood while I still got a few minutes left. Right on. Hell yeah. All right, we're just spinning the dial. We don't even know what's coming. Ooh. This might be good. Ooh. Let's see what else we got. Happy Friday, guys. Yeah, here we go. Let's spit it out again. Is it time for Fiddle Dave's acapella party again? And I've had such a good time with you guys, man. So I used to sing this tune, man, back in the day. Back in the Silk Threads day, I was talking about my acapella days. And man, I used to sing the song. I'd sing lead on it. I'd sing the falsetto. I don't know if I got it. Should I try? In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Oh. In the village, the peaceful village, the lion sleeps tonight. In the village, the peaceful village, the lion sleeps tonight. Whoa, away, whoa, away, whoa, 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 whoa. All right, thanks to all my acapella buddies out there. We'll keep trying, right? know, it's funny, man, as I remember, this was a couple years ago when I put this in the RC 505, you know, what kind of doo-wop can I do, you know? And I remember I was really trying to get this one, man. I did it like 3 or 4 times in a row. Should we fast forward and just see what's next in the old RC 505? I'm taking bets right now. You think it's Lion Sleeps Tonight again? So you see that these little musical things don't always come instantly. You gotta work at it a little bit. So thank you for spending time under the hood with me. Let's spin the dial 1 forward and see if it's Lion Sleeps Tonight. What do you think? Here we go. Oh, almost. So we're at Project 33. Let's see what Project 34 is. I bet it's Lion Sleeps Tonight. We're about to find out. Happy Friday, everybody. Hey, check it out. It's Lion Sleeps Tonight, just a little slower. Hey, I'm gonna build it up a little bit. Let's build it up. No, I'm guessing about that. I bet we did it again. Let's check it out. There we go. Try it again. Thanks again for listening, man. Hope you have a wonderful weekend, and please be safe out there. My name is Fiddle Dave. I'm glad to be here, man. Have a great weekend. It's been fun, man. Thanks, guys. See you next time. Let's do this more often. Okay. See ya. Have a great weekend. Yeah, man. That was too much fun. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Mom. I especially appreciate you tuning in. Thank you. All right. Mahalo. Thank you for listening.